I spent 10 years building a life that I thought I wanted, but lately I feel like I built a life that was just 2 sizes too small. I've been reflecting in my journal a word to call this new split between the old version of myself and the new version of myself, and I've come up with it. It's either the mask or the stranger. It's when you feel trapped in your new life, but everyone expects an old version of yourself, and you kind of feel trapped, like you're wearing a mask, or you feel kind of like a stranger, and you have to be this kind of actor to the people around you, so that their expectations of who you are and who they perceive you are don't change. And when you're trapped playing this role of this old version of yourself, it can be hard to distinguish when exactly is that going to end so I can transition into the new version of myself that I want to be. So to put this into perspective, and you can see my journal, I'm dealing with a tension right here. This is the tension point, and I'm trying to bridge the gap from who I was to who I am now. So the old life is the expected life. That's the expected self that everybody expects of me. Sometimes I realize the old self feels like it needs that security and approval because that's what's expected of you, and that's the environment you grew up in and the identity you gave yourself. That was a person who I'm trying to grow away from, who said yes to a lot of things and didn't advocate for himself. So what I'm trying to do is bridge the gap between these two in a way that doesn't cause tension for myself, because who I am now and who I want to be in this new life, this emerging self, has boundaries and is direct with their communication. The emerging self wants freedom and truth because you feel kind of trapped in your other life. You feel like you're putting on a facade and acting for people, and you feel like a stranger in your own body and your own identity in your own life. So I'm trying to get rid of the security and approval that I thought I needed in my old self for the freedom and truth that I'm growing now in my new self. So then I had to break it down to who am I when no one is watching. And what I wrote in my journal about this is I feel like I am terrified of becoming a stranger to myself and to those around me. But I had to realize, and maybe you'll realize it too, that you aren't losing your identity. You are shedding a skin that was never meant to be permanent. It was never meant to be permanent. You weren't meant to be this guy forever, and neither was I. You're meant to be this guy, and there's a lot of change in between, a lot of bridging of the gaps. Shedding that skin that was never meant to be permanent is actually a good thing. It brings you into a new awareness of who you are and who you want to be. And you shouldn't let the expectations or opinions of other people stop you from achieving that. The bridge is finding a happy medium where you don't feel like you have to act anymore. And it's a new version of you that you respect and you genuinely want to be. Maybe you're happier, healthier, and more clear for the first time in your life. And you don't feel like you're drifting or you have to explain things to people. I'm listening to a lot of guys in my circle and observing the changes in myself. And a lot of them say there's really a struggle to become that new version of yourself that you want to be. They almost think that they're not allowed to be that or change in some way. And they get a lot of pushback from people about that. But one mindset that you have to change is that you deserve to not feel like you're always putting on a show or acting for people. You deserve to be a new version of who you want to become. And if people have resistance to that, that's their problem. You really need to start to embody who you want to be. You really need to start living the life you want to be. I wanted to get outside more and off of technology and away from screens and the doom scrolling and the hate and the gloom. And I just started doing it. All I have is a GoPro and a journal and my thoughts. And that clarity that's come out of that person I wanted to be to reconnect with who I am, has fulfilled me in ways, even at the start of this journey, that I couldn't predict. And I no longer have to act as that old version of myself to seek that approval or that security that I thought I needed. I'm allowing myself to fall into this new identity and to become who I really want to be. Let me know in the comments if you feel like you're a stranger in your own life sometimes, or if you're putting on a mask, or you kind of feel trapped in a cage in that security blanket, and you feel like you're not allowed to be who you really want to be. I'd love to hear what some guys are going through and struggling with, and their own tension points in that bridge. Thank you guys for watching and supporting, and I'll see you next time from the woods.